two, a human being being sliced into two. Can you imagine such a thing? Biafra is going to emerge as a nation. You know, despite the support of Britain, Russia, Egypt, and some other friends of Nigeria, we all will surely come out as a nation because we are fighting a just cause. Even a little child on the street will tell you this. We shall never go back to Nigeria again. God's grace will surely emerge as a nation. And so, as far as this war continues, we'll fight to the last man.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Biafran Golden Child. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're hearing my voice from. Once again, this is the Biafra Golden Child, and I'm super happy, yes, to, always have this opportunity in the Biafra special, media, superstar media, to tell our brothers some very important happenings. Yes, I'm talking about the current bill in the with the president now, the current bill on restructuring to sign. There's a bill that is on the table of the president to be signed into law. They call it the restructuring bill. And I want to say that this restructuring bill is a mere propaganda and a deliberate plot to delay the declaration of Biafra. So my topic for this morning is we don't need any restructuring. What we need is Biafra. We don't need restructuring. What we need is Biafra. Yes. So let's go on. Yes. So like I said, there's currently a bill before President Tinubu to sign. Yes, the chairman of Ndibo is talking about the restructuring of Nigeria. Everybody is talking about restructuring. They have come to a certain agreement within them that the Southeast has a lower number of states and a fewer number of states, and should be compensated with a state, an additional state. Yes, like I said at one of my, podcasts, I said, that the Northeast has 7 states. The Southwest has 6 states, but only the Southeast has, 5 states. And they think, according to Ndibo and other such-minded people, they have been clamoring for restructuring. That Nigeria there has to be equitable distribution of states and resources and so forth and so on. And so this bill is currently in front of President Bola Tinubu to sign. Everybody is talking about restructuring of Nigeria. But as far as I'm concerned, this is nothing more than propaganda and political distraction. Yes. After 54 years of relentless destruction of Ndibo, this is medicine after death. Bad move. Too late. Yes, it's a medicine after death. Bad move. Too late. So what is this bill? Yes, they want to, they claim, well, they were aware that some people are not happy, some regions are not happy. For instance, the Southeast has 5 states, Anambra, Imo, Abia, Enugu, and Ebonyi. Let us give them another state. We deserve another state. We have to be, equitable with the Southwest that has 6 states. We know that the Northeast has, 7 states. And we want our own, states. We want the Southeast to be accommodated in the scheme of things. Yeah, but unfortunately, this is not going to take us anywhere. Because in the first instance, we all recognize that Biafran and children of the South is that Onaburi will stand. That logo should not be wasted. People may not remember that slang. Onaburi will stand. Aburi documents, that was a document that, was, orchestrated by, the Ghanaian leader, the Ghanaian leader then, the Ghanaian head of state, within that period of 1967 to 1970. A peace move was made by the OAU, and this peace move involved inviting the Nigerian head of state then, Yakubu Gowon, and Dumegwu Ojukwu to a meeting. They brought them together to Ghana, and they said, "What do you want?" The Biafra delegation went there with a finely written document in which Ojukwu, itemized and duly recorded everything the Igbo man needed to continue as a region in Nigeria. We had everything that we wanted. If you want us to remain, if you want us not to go to war, you want the peace, everything to end, grant us our peace. Let us remain as our own region. Let the East, be self-sufficient. Let the East be self-governing. Let the East, manage its resources, and let the federal center have its own, however it is, And Ojukwu had a complete document which was duly applauded by everybody. Gowon equally accepted that document. Unfortunately again, while Ojukwu was clamoring for its implementation, the same Aburi Accord, the same Aburi document, which Gowon and the British commanders and conspirators conspired against him and faulted the agreement. This was a document that was touted to be a well-meaning document, a document that can stand the test of time in any human, organization, in any human settlement, in any human governance. Recognizing the people and their recognizing their right, universally acclaimed right to govern themselves, to manage their resources, and to determine their well-being. Yes, but the Gowon administration, after having collected this document, after duly signing at Ghana, came back to Nigeria, and unfortunately, their British guidance counselor, their British masters, pseudo masters, convinced Gowon and some political elites, so-called elites in the southwest within his government as at then, they convinced Gowon not to sign that document, not to approve it, even though you signed at Aburi, even though we were looking towards its implementation, don't implement it. And so Gowon came and said, no, Aburi, we are not agreeing with the Aburi resolutions. But of course, our indefatigable, strong, and fearless Dim Dumegwu Ojukwu, told the whole world, if you don't want the Aburi decisions, if you don't want the Aburi agreements to be maintained, then to your tents, O Biafrans, to your tents, O Nigerians. We stand on Aburi. On Aburi we stand. And so that is what the restructuring will want. The restructuring the Biafra man wants is go back to Aburi. Look at our demands. Look at how we stated it. Look at how we intended to move our country forward. When we go back there, you see the interplay of how a country should be. You see the interplay of how a country's resources should be managed, both at the region level and at any other level. You see how, people can live equitably and happily with themselves without undue harassment, without undue marginalization, without being treated as second fiddles. And so that is what that document is stated. And so when Ndigbo and all others are clamoring for this so-called restructuring, we begin to wonder, is it that they've forgotten that this so-called restructuring has been embedded in the Aburi documents? Way back 1967, way back 1968. What are we talking about? So the same there, the Aburi, let me say this. I'm happy today that Gowon is still alive. I'm happy that Gowon is alive to witness the destruction of Nigeria, which he started. And we pray that he will be alive to witness the same Biafra restored on December 2nd, 2024 by our great and powerful Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. Yes. Do you recall how many Igbos were slaughtered during the Biafran War between 1967 to 1970? Over 5 million of them, especially the innocent children and the innocent children and the elderly who starved to death. I mean, a lot of people developed psychotic problems. Some went mad, some were depressed, some got lost, missing. A lot of people cannot account for their loved ones. I mean, do you know how many people died between 1967 to 7? We are not even talking about the program from the north. We did because of the failed 1966 coup. 1966 coup. Where they blamed the Igbos for the coup, and they started slaughtering Igbos all around the northern region, killing them, maiming them, destroying their everything they possessed, and chased them away. Out of the Igbos had to scamper away to the southeast for safety. Even after they waylaid them, they killed them, chased them even to the southeast. So, which was eventually taken at a national level, an international level by Gowon and his, a team of leaders when they brought up the civil war that could have been avoided. They attacked the Igbos and tried to put us to extinction. It's very unfortunate. 5 million Igbos, innocent children and the elderly, who starved to death. Our men were maimed. Hands were cut. They look at your fingers. They remove 2-3 fingers from your hands to make you totally incapacitated for life, either for farming, either for any other useful work. A lot of men had their hands just with 3 fingers, and they made sure those men were they were maimed for life. And so such wickedness, such abominations, such outrageous killings should not be forgotten. Who is talking of restructuring? The restructuring we are talking about is go back to the Aburi Accords. That's where we are. I'm happy our own, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, he was also asking for the same restructuring. But what did the Nigerian military do? When Nnamdi was telling them, Kanu was saying, what you're doing is right, what you're doing is wrong. How can you subject people to this? That's a massive injustice. Since after the Civil War, why can the Igbo man not attain the highest level in the land? Why are the Igbos deliberately skimmed out of things? Nobody has revisited the abandoned property thing and given Igbos their property. Why are we second fiddle in our land? Why are we told many times to go back to our land, despite having constructed so many buildings, so many palace mansions, factories, assorted hotels and sundry things, and they still tell us go back to your land, as if we're not Nigerians. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was emphatically talking about this and saying it's not fair. Let's restructure this. Let's have a rethink. But what did they do? What did the Nigerian military do? The Nigerian military invaded his house in September 2017 to kill him, but he managed to escape, and they killed over 100 people, including his dog Jack. They killed his dog Jack out of sheer wickedness and envy. By extension, the invasion of a private citizen by the military caused the death of his parents. Yes, they killed his parents. Yeah, because you invaded a man's place. The father was there, the mother was there. You had to escape for their life. But you know how the effects come up. The old man, the old woman, they were shocked beyond their imaginations. The trauma got into them. Eventually, they died, unfortunately. It's not fair it's not fair at all. Talk about, what they did. Immediately after the Civil War, the Igbos were still hounded here and there. They were killed. Even after they have declared we are not fighting anymore. After Effiong, Philip Effiong has handed them, and Chief Mbanefo has handed them look, okay, we're back. We surrender. They still rounded up thousands of Igbo men, killed them for mere fun. It's a wickedness, even after the Civil War. Imagine what they did to our people. Even after that again, just after the Civil War, what did they do? They divided our region. Now they divided us to depopulate our cities, weaken our collective power, and make us hate ourselves. The Rivers people were Rivers State. They carried Igbos to Rivers. In Rivers State, they took some Igbos to Benin, the Edo State. They took some Igbos to Delta State. They carried some Igbos to Bayelsa State. They decided to just spread out the Igbos, make sure they don't come together again, make sure they are with strange people, strange clans, make sure that with people who don't have their languages, but throw them apart, to depopulate us, to weaken us, and to see whether they can kill our resolve to live and to survive. But of course they didn't. They did it. They wanted us to make us it ourselves. You know, it's so unfortunate. It's glaring. A lot of people are not considering this. They forced our blood relatives to become minorities in areas that are alien to them. I mean, they forced them through intimidation to denounce their own people, the Igbos. They forced them. You know, hence when you come now, you hear people, they slang now is, I'm not Igbo. I'm not Igbo. Please, please. Yes, my name, my sign Igbo. I'm not Igbo. You know, don't call me Igbo. My name could be Amechi. I'm not Igbo. You know, my name could be Wike. Wike. I'm not Igbo. My name could be Dokobo. My name could be this. I'm not Igbo. Maybe my fathers were. Maybe my great grandfathers were. But that's absolute rubbish. That's absolute rubbish. They have made us feel inferior. Our own brothers are denying us because they divided us to depopulate us to make sure they strangulate the eastern land, believing that we will never come again, we will never congregate again and remember our fatherland, that we will never resurrect Biafra. But Biafra is a spirit. It must come back. The spirit will hover in the air. Eventually, to find a body. So they say, I'm not Igbo, and my own brothers, our own brothers, yeah, they are saying, I'm not Igbo, I'm not Igbo, you know. I mean, I don't know, I'm not Igbo, I don't care about my name, I'm not Igbo. That's a shame. River State, we have Igbos in River State. Delta State, we have Igbos in Delta State. The so-called South-South, South-South, that you call South-South, we have Igbos there. You cannot help it. They divided us, took our brothers to alien lands, alien territories, alien areas, just to see if they can. By the time they scatter us, like they scattered the Jews, like the Germans tried to scatter the Jews here under Hitler's, wicked and Nazist administration. Scattered them all over, thinking they would destroy them. But they still congregated. The Jews still congregated in Israel. And today, there's Israel, where the Jews are. And so, like the Igbos, like the Jews too, they have scattered us, thrown our brothers to strange lands, giving them, alien people to live with, because you go to rivers, like I said, there are Igbos there. You go to Delta State, there are Igbos there. You go to Edo State, there are Igbos there. The so-called South-South, there are Igbos there. Even a blind man knows that there's no such thing in the world map as South-South. Yes, even a blind man knows that there's no such thing in the world map as South-South, but only in Nigeria, a British-controlled enterprise and contraction is where we find such anomalies. My people, it's just unfortunate. What about our leader Nnamdi Kanu? Yes, our leader Nnamdi Kanu, as a visionary leader, when he started his Radio Biafra, as a visionary leader, he said, look, teach children history, teach people history. Why is history being removed from the schools? Let people know what has happened. Let Igbos, let children, let generations yet unborn remember what happened to our people between 1966 to 1970. Teach them, let's teach history. Nnamdi Kanu insisted that they teach history to raise the awareness of who we are. No wonder he's not taught in our schools anymore. And thanks to our able Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, who is holding it down until we get to the promised land. And by the special grace of God, his servant, our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, will get his recompense for fighting for the freedom of his people. Nnamdi Kanu gave the mantra, which is literally, a thought behind our Prime Minister's actions. Yes, Nnamdi Kanu said on one of his audios, listen to Simon Ekpa. Listen to Simon Ekpa. He's bringing a new dimension. He's bringing a new dimension to this struggle. He's bringing a new dimension to this liberation. He will take us like Joshua to the promised land. Listen to him. A lot of people are asking, where did the Prime Minister, our Prime Minister today, Simon Ekpa, where did he get his power from? Who gave him the authority? Here and now, hear it from me. Hear it right now if you have forgotten. Our venerable leader, Nnamdi Kanu, is the very one who, in one of his audios, enjoined every Igbo man, encouraged every Biafran, and gave us a special command that we listen to Simon Ekpa. Listen to Simon Ekpa, that is bringing a new dimension. Yes, those of us who are directly affected by the genocide of our loved ones have no choice but to support our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. That's an empowerment directly from our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, who foresaw an act of betrayal, and his imminent suffering in the hands of his enemies, be it Nigeria, Britain, or otherwise. Simon Ekpa only started to exercise the command given to him when our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, was abducted in Kenya in June 2021. Yes, in June 2021, when Nnamdi Kanu was abducted, that was when Simon Ekpa came out like Elisha, who had received power from Elijah before Elijah's disappearance. It was at that point when Nnamdi Kanu was abducted in Kenya in June 2021 that Simon Ekpa, our venerable and powerful Prime Minister, said, listen, it's time we take this to another level. Yes. Since then, Simon Ekpa, like an obedient servant, has been carrying the torch handed over to him by the same man whom he constantly addresses as our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He has done no wrong by accepting such an adult tax, just as Peter in the Bible was handed the keys of the kingdom, kingdom of heaven by Jesus. The rest of the apostles of Jesus did not hate Peter for accepting the keys of leadership. Peter is also known as Simon. Simon Ekpa is also Peter. Peter Ekpa. Yes, if Simon is Peter, Peter is Simon. So Simon Ekpa can also be known as Peter Ekpa. He is the rock that holds us together right now. Simon Ekpa is the rock that holds us together right now. Only God knows what would have happened to the Biafra movement if he was not given the mantra. I mean, if there was no Simon Ekpa, where could we have been? His popularity among the Biafra people is astronomical, especially with the youth, only second to our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, in you, Simon Ekpa, the torch of Biafra shines. In you, Simon Ekpa, the torch of Biafra shines. We are not interested in any restructuring. We are not interested in any extra state or no extra state. These are political machinations. These are propaganda. These are distractions to send Igbos back into oblivion, to send Igbos back into Babylon. It's not our hope. We are looking forward to December 2nd, 2024, when the whole world will witness the declaration of Biafra as a internationally accepted entity with its sovereign rights and powers. Yes, when come December 2nd, 2024, the whole world would witness the rebirth, a new beginning, a creation of the Biafra Republic by the special grace from God. No restructuring. We go back to Aburi. Biafra is our promised land. That is where our hope lies. God bless you all. Thank you.
Yeah, check me out. Superstars Media. Lord Logan, Bloomington, Lord Logan, and it's wild Flora show. 1914 amalgamation is what we dying for. 3 nations to 1 nation. Ever since annihilation, nepotism is nonsense. You and you, clap your hands. Biafra gonna come, clap your hands. Biafra, Oduduwa, we're free now. Freedom is gonna come, we're free now. Yeah.